6:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Niranjan Abesundara. The President's Media Centre opens honouring a pledge to provide correct information to the public. 5 sub-projects to control floods in the Colombo city have been completed. Information has been disclosed about another 11 women who had worked at MP Richard Badudin's house. It has been revealed that a group of railway employees have been paid more than 500 million rupees as overtime payments. Many countries make inquiries to purchase a Sapphire cluster. In world news, Japanese coronavirus expert warns of a medical care crisis. In sports news, Ireland wins the first gold medal at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. The President's Media Centre has been opened on the ground floor of the old Chartered Bank building in front of the President's house in Fort. The aim of the centre is to provide correct information efficiently to the media and to the people about the progress of the programme to make reality pledges given to the people in Vistasa Prosperity Manifesto, the President and the Presidential Secretariat. Opening the centre, President's Chief Advisor Lalit Viratunga said it will be held to build a media culture that will go beyond popular media usage. Journalists were briefed on the progress of COVID vaccination program and future plans on the occasion. Mr. Viratunga said that all those who are above 30 years will be vaccinated before the 15th of September. Arrangements are in place to vaccinate the group between 18 and 30 years. He said it will be implemented as soon as the recommendations of the World Health Organization are received. Work on 5 sub-projects related to the urban development project in connection with the Colombo has been completed. The project has been implemented with the Land Development Corporation on instructions from the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The project was implemented to prevent the Colombo city being submerged in rainwater. Work on St. Sebastian South Canal Pumping Station project, the St. Sebastian Northern Canal Pumping Station project in Maradana Kolonava and the Black Bridge Canal Gate project, Gothurua Canal Gate and Amatale Canal Pumping Station projects have been completed. Director of the project A.W. Tushari said that floods were successfully controlled by the projects which were implemented following a practical test conducted over the years. The total investment in projects is $321 million. $213 million out of that has been given by the World Bank as a country loan. The government has invested $108 million in the project. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa opened today a Surgical and Kidney Disease Institute building at the National Hospital premises. The 3-story building has been constructed as a donation from EAM Maliban Textiles Private Company. It is equipped with 13 intensive care beds. Nearly 300 million rupees have been spent to construct the building. The chairman of the Maliban Textile Private Company, Ilyas Abdul Karim, was present on the occasion. The body of the girl who died with burn injuries while in domestic service at MP Richard Badudin's house will be exhumed tomorrow. A team of officers of the Colombo Crime Division reported the matter to the Nuwara magistrate Lushika Kumar Jarathan today. Meanwhile, information has been found that another 11 women who were in domestic service at MP Richard Badudin's house. Police media spokesman Senior D.A. Jayat Rohan said statements from the 5 of them have been obtained. All of them are residents of the Agama area. Intermediary has brought 11, including underage girls, to work at Mr. Badudin's house. They have been identified and they are being questioned. The Railway Department, which is maintained at a loss, has paid more than 500 million rupees as overtime payments to engine drivers, assistants and guards in May and June. Engine drivers and assistants have been paid more than 40 million rupees as overtime payment in May. They have been paid more than 60 million rupees as overtime payments in June. More than 170 million rupees have been paid for railway guards in May. They have been paid more than 180 million rupees as overtime payments in June. Railway Department also say that overtime payments are made through various malpractices and there is no proper methodology relevant to such payments of railway workers. Several countries have requested to keep as an item with archaeological value the world's biggest sapphire cluster found in Sri Lanka. Chairman of the Gem and Jewelry Authority, Tilak Veerasinghe, said Israel requested to purchase it for a huge amount of money. He said 160 countries have already come forward to purchase it. Kottalawa Defense University has earned more than $9 million by providing education to foreign students. 160 foreign students are following three degree programs at the university. Apart from that, a group of local students with relevant Z-score who have not been able to enroll at other local universities are following courses by paying fees. The university is scheduled to commence a special degree program related to technology this year and a postgraduate degree program on criminal justice in 2022 on the instruction of the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. MP Jagat Kumar says that it is not suitable to sacrifice people and students to win rights. During a press briefing today by the Sri Lanka Pradhan Peramana, he pointed out problems for which trade unions are fighting for had been present for over 20 years. However, he said that they did not try to win them during the regime of the good governance government. MP Jagat Kumar said it is not suitable to conduct a wave of protests amid the pandemic. He pointed out the government and the Prime Minister have agreed to provide solutions to their problems. He further said that COVID could spread more due to the protests. General Secretary of the Patriotic United National Party, Sugat Heopatharena, said that they condemn the unpatriotic program of the trade unions and opposition to stop the people-friendly program of the government. He pointed out that the income generated by tourism industry has been disrupted due to the pandemic. The income received from immigrant workers also decreased. The government has also the responsibility to pay foreign loan investments taken for development for more than 40 years. Therefore, he has requested the people to stand up to defeat the conspiracy implemented using teachers, workers and students. That ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Ministry of Health said that another 1,641 patients who are being treated for the COVID-19 have been discharged after recovering from the virus. It has increased the country's coronavirus recoveries to 27,496. Sri Lanka has so far confirmed a total of 301,832 positive cases of COVID-19, while 24,078 patients infected with the virus are currently under medical care. Death toll due to the virus currently stands at 4,258. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight. Police have provided a telephone number for the general public to report information regarding any activities related to child labour in the Colombo city or suburbs. Police spokesman Sinadia Jarit Rohan has said that if the public have any information in respect of child labour, they're requested to provide such information to the Colombo Emergency Centre via its telephone number 0112 433 333 0112 433 333. That came to you in Watchlight. On to world news. The Japanese coronavirus expert warns of medical care crisis. Tunisia turmoil continues as President sacks more officials. US says China's interest in Afghanistan could be positive. The head of the Japanese government coronavirus advisory panel has warned the country's healthcare system will soon be overwhelmed unless a sense of crisis is shared by society as a whole. Omishigura told an upper house committee meeting today that there are many factors that could lead to a further surge in coronavirus cases, but there are only a few that could curb the spread of infections. Tunisia has tilted further into political uncertainty after President Kais Saied dismissed more officials just days after he sacked the Prime Minister, froze Parliament and assumed executive powers. After suspending Parliament and sacking Prime Minister Hisham Mechini on Sunday and firing the Defence and Justice Ministers a day later, Saied ordered the dismissal of several top officials late on Tuesday. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said China's possible involvement in Afghanistan could be a positive thing. He said this was if China was looking towards a peaceful resolution of the conflict and a truly representative and inclusive government. His comments came after Taliban representatives visited China. China said it saw the Taliban playing an important role in the peace process and the rebuilding of Afghanistan. Back to the headlines of the world news. A Japanese coronavirus expert warns of a medical care crisis. Tunisia turmoil continues as the president sacks more officials. U.S. said China's interest in Afghanistan could be positive. That was world news.
Even Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melba RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melba RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
The UN's International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, increased its support for the whole most vulnerable and marginalized people. According to the International Fund for Agricultural Development Annual Report 2020 released today, it was able to reach 123 million people in 2020 with 203 ongoing projects and total financing of $7.5 billion. President of the IFAD, Gilbert Hongo, said, despite the challenges of 2020, they remain convinced that their vision of a world free of poverty and hunger is attainable and should remain in focus. That was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melba RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melba RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Sports news. Ireland won their first gold medal of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games as Paul O'Donovan and Fintan McCarthy triumphed in the lightweight men's doubles sculls. Regarded as the favourites, O'Donovan and McCarthy created history by winning Ireland's first Olympic rowing gold. Reigning world and European champions broke away from the closest challengers, Germany, at home stage to win in 6 minutes and 6.43 seconds. Swiss sprinter Alex Wilson is out of the Olympics after his provisional doping suspension was reinstated, despite his claim the banned substance came from eating contaminated beef. The Court of Arbitration for Sport has reinstated 30-year-old suspension with immediate effect. Hungary's Olympic 200-meter butterfly champion Christoph Milak said he knew the world record attempt was gone after his trunks ripped shortly before the final. Milak broke American Michael Phelps' 13-year-old Olympic record as he took gold in 1 minute 51.25 seconds. Organizers say there are significant challenges that threaten the Rugby League World Cup being staged as scheduled and will decide within days if it will go ahead later this year. Australia and New Zealand pulled out of the event citing player welfare and safety concerns related to COVID-19. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The organizations involved in supplying and fixing solar panels to get connected to the program to increase up to 70% renewable energy capacity, according to Vista's Prosperity Manifesto, have been given the opportunity now. And the pilot project measures are in place to install solar panels at 15 hospitals. Ministry of Health and State Ministry of Wind and Solar and Hydropower Project Development have already commenced activities. That was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Sri Lanka Food Processors Association has donated 5 machines to the National Hospital to test corona patients. Several companies have given their support in this regard. International Monetary Fund Chief Economist Geeta Gopinath has warned the emerging and developing markets would see continuously elevated prices in the next year, stoked by the persistently higher food prices and weaker domestic currencies. The global economies across advanced, emerging and developing markets have seen rising consumer and supplier prices since the reopening of their economies after the worst of the pandemic due to the strains on supply chains triggered by the pent-up demand and disruptions caused by the virus-related restrictions. That was economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Met Department says a few showers will occur in the Sabaragamuwa, Western, Central and Northwestern provinces and the Galle and Mathura districts. Very strong winds up to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected in the western slopes of Central Hills, North Central and Northwestern provinces and in the Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. That was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Back to the headlines of the news. The President's Media Centre opens honouring a pledge to provide correct information to the public. 5 sub-projects to control flood in the Colombo city have been completed. Information has been disclosed about another 11 women who had worked at MP Rishad Baudouin's house. It has been revealed that a group of railway employees have been paid more than 5 million rupees as overtime payments. Many countries make inquiries to purchase the Sapphire cluster. In world news, Japanese coronavirus expert warns of medical care crisis. Sports news, Ireland wins their first gold medal of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. That is the news.